Hey, what's up, YouTube fam? I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to another brand new episode of That's How It's Done. Today, in this episode, we are busting some cybersecurity myths with our guest. But who is our today's guest? Before going forward, make sure you are subscribed to the channel to receive such videos in your YouTube feed. So, now let's head straight into our today's video. Today, we have someone from the cybersecurity industry. Please welcome Gabriela. Hi, Gabriela. How are you doing?
Hi, good. Thanks so much for having me on here.
Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. So, how's everything with you?
It's been quite busy, doing a lot of things in cybersecurity, dabbling in technology as always.
Yeah, definitely, yes. So, without further delay, let's begin our today's let's begin our today's podcast. And I'll be asking a couple of questions to you, and you can provide in your insights, your valuable expertise on the same. So, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, my first question to you is: how do you see cybersecurity industry growing in upcoming years?
I really see a lot of shaping and kind of like new roles coming in. Actually, I found something out at one of the cybersecurity conferences I went to a couple months ago that in the United States, we actually only have 50 cybersecurity lawyers. And that's it. So there's definitely a big shift happening now where we're trying to incorporate like other people from other fields to also support cybersecurity because as laws change, all over the world, really, there needs to be some type of legal situation and just legal services available because if something were to happen and it affects company data or individual data, what are we going to do? And then I also see just technology growing and it's just expanding, right? Like every company is starting to incorporate more and more technology. So who do we have to be able to really make sure that we're protected? So definitely in every type of industry, I see more and more job roles opening up, and of course, like job roles that you don't really expect to see to also enter into the field as well.
Okay, 50 is a quite low number.
It's extremely low because right now, with the amount of companies that we have, and you have to think about small businesses and everything like that, it's definitely not enough whatsoever. I mean, we already have a shortage of cybersecurity people, and to look at it with the lawyer side as well, it's just a really low number for sure.
Okay, quite interesting metrics that you have provided. Only 50, that's a pretty low number. That's a pretty low number. Looks like there is a lot of room for people to get onboarded there.
Definitely. And the other thing is, there's other people who are kind of interested in going into cybersecurity. I actually met a lawyer the other day that she is definitely not in cybersecurity through the legal way. She was working more like on the government side, but now, I told her the same thing. I'm like, hey, there's an opening here. Like, if you're interested in cybersecurity and you're already a lawyer, here's an opportunity. So there's so many opportunities out there that you don't necessarily have to go the technical route when it comes to cybersecurity. You can still do your part and you can still be a part of this field.
Okay, great. Thanks for answering it. Okay, so my next question would be: do you have any tips for the people who want to start their career into cybersecurity, who are just starting out? How can they do it
Yes.
in the
So
states, especially?
yeah, so a big thing is going to have kind of like a mixture of education with training. Because a lot of times that we see people have like all this education, but no job experience whatsoever. And then they try to get in, and employers are like, well, I don't really see any lab work or anything like that. And really don't feel intimidated by that, because experience counts as many, many things. So if you've done help desk before, which is entry level, or you've done lab work or some type of projects on the side as freelance, all of that stuff counts, because employers want to see that you're a self learner and that you're really picking up the material, and that you're not just doing everything because of a certification, like you're actually getting hands-on experience. Because the thing is that in this field, you do need to have some type of experience dabbling and really understanding the tools and kind of like trying it out for yourself. So definitely a big thing is either getting a certification with a little bit of experience, or going for a degree with a little bit of experience, or you can do a boot camp and experience.
Okay.
Yeah. And the
So,
other thing,
mhm.
sorry. And the
Okay.
other thing that I want to add is that once you have that kind of stuff, some it's really important to tailor your resume, because a lot of times what I've seen is people have certain things on their resume and it really doesn't reflect what they truly know. And so employers kind of like toss those out. So you really want to make sure that you structure your resume based off of job descriptions that are currently out on the market. So what you want to do is go through LinkedIn or Indeed or any type of career site and really see what type of jobs are listed on there and their requirements, and really tailor your those requirements into your resume.
Okay. Quite great insights. I have two follow-up questions from the insights that you have provided. So the first one being for the certification. When we talk about certification in cybersecurity, it is not just quite a go-to thing that I can do any certification. It is not a guided path. The other question, the follow-up question for that is, any certification you would recommend for the beginners? It could be anything that they can start with, because I believe everybody needs a starting point. It could be possible that it is quite unclear to from where to start, because since cybersecurity being a huge domain, so
Mhm.
do you have any recommendation for the same?
Yeah, so I know there's two big ones, but I think the major one is the Security Plus from CompTIA. They do have the CYSA, which is the analyst. However, I think the Security Plus is the most important, just because that's your foundations. You're really getting the baseline of terminology, what kind of tools we're using, really understanding the process of how security is done in an organization. And that's really the one that I really recommend, because the CYSA, the problem with that one is once you're in an analyst role, a lot of people and a lot of employers don't really ask for it after that. Um, but employers will continue to ask for the Security Plus. Like, I'm a lead security professional and they still wanted me to have my Security Plus. So that is really going to be a good one to have on hand, and always make sure that you renew that certification and just keep it with you.
Okay, okay, I get it. So another thing that I was able to get from the last insight that you provided was tailoring the resume according to the job description. So what sort of resumes, if you are aware, the HRs in the industry seek for, or maybe some tips to tailor the resume specifically for cybersecurity, would you suggest?
Yeah. So, well, first of all, a lot of people ask me, oh, are the entry level cybersecurity jobs going to ask a lot of technical questions? It really depends. From my experience, my entry level, I was going into blue team. So I had a lot of like communication skill questions. How was I working in a team or as an individual? How did I problem solve? All those kind of things were the things that they were asking for. And usually you're going to see that stuff in the requirements. They'll say, is this person a team player? Are they able to work on their own? Are they able to figure certain things out? Um, so those are the things that you want to make sure that you can add into your resume. And that's the valuable part from any field trying to get into cybersecurity, because they want to know non-technical skills and you already have that. So once you start adding those things in, then that's what HR is looking for. And the reason why I say look at the requirements, because they'll ask certain keywords. And if you have those keywords in your resume, when they go ahead and scan that through an automatic computer, then they'll pick those out. And then when it goes to second round, where a person from HR is actually looking at it, then they can send over that resume to the hiring manager.
Okay, so tailoring resume, like for the application tracking system, is quite a thing in cybersecurity to get yourself to the second round.
Yeah. Yeah, some companies use that, so it's really important to make sure that you add that in there as well.
Anything that you would like to, want people to know, or maybe some question that you have in your head that you want to put through?
Yeah, I actually want to talk about people really interested in the field. I know that some people get really intimidated going into cybersecurity. They feel like it's very complicated and that they don't know where to start, and maybe they don't have those connections. I really recommend looking at the LinkedIn community, looking on Instagram, really connecting with other cybersecurity professionals, because that way you can connect with them and ask them questions. And a lot of times we're always providing resources, right? Sometimes we have job postings, sometimes we have grant money or programs or anything like that. And so if you're involved in that community, you can get access to that first. And the other thing is, don't feel intimidated. Really try it out. Apply for that job, even if it looks really scary or maybe you don't know everything. That's okay, because there's such a shortage of cybersecurity professionals that employers are willing to train. So if they find somebody that falls under good soft skills, they are willing to train that person. So get out there and don't be afraid, and definitely apply for those jobs.
Okay, what are your views on try hack me and hack the box websites? Are they helpful for people who are starting out?
They are super helpful. They do a great breakdown on why we do certain things. And I think that's really important for people who are just dabbling into cybersecurity, because they may not understand, like, why do we do this? And so all those types of activities are going to start training your brain how to think as a cybersecurity professional. The other thing is, going back to the experience part, let's say you don't have any other experience. Maybe you're just learning on your own, and those types of websites are the ones that you're using to create labs and solve activities. That is something that I would add to the resume and say, I tried this type of lab. I'm able to recreate this. I'm able to solve this problem, because that really shows the employer that you know what you're doing and that you've had some type of practice.
Okay, so viewers, please make a point that try hack me and hack the box are super helpful resources that can help you through your journey.
Yes, exactly.
Can we talk something about Web3 or maybe blockchain, how these are shaping up these days? What all, since these are quite new verticals, I think the demand for cybersecurity professional will definitely will be at rise, because that is how the industry is shaping. More and more technology things are being introduced, like another, the Web3 is a whole new feature. Web3 is a whole new set of technology that is being unlocked onto the technology. And when technology is there, I believe cybersecurity is something that will be there, that has to accompany it. So, anything from that aspect you would like to put?
I do want to add a couple things there. Which is really important to get in the habit as a person who wants to get into cybersecurity. There's things always changing, right? So we're not just having new attacks every day or new hackers. but we're also getting new technology, and it's starting to get really complicated because we're mixing a lot of our real world with virtual world and how we kind of live our lives. So one thing is to really take 10 minutes of your day and look at the cybersecurity news. Because if blockchain takes a different approach or something else changes in that, um, you need to be aware of that, because if your organization needs to worry about something or needs to modify something, you're that first point of contact. And they're going to look at you to be able to answer those questions. So get used to training your brain and really looking at the news every day, and seeing what's out there when it comes to cybersecurity.